Welcome back to Now You Know BC. Today we're talking about big things in British Columbia. My guest is Justin McElroy, a municipal affairs reporter for CBC, not just any municipal affairs reporter, the municipal affairs reporter here at CBC in Vancouver, a couple blocks over from our studio. Justin just got back from a year-long adventure traveling the globe on a bit of a sabbatical, and he's seen and done some big things here and abroad. Thanks for joining me, Justin.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
What made you want to go on a year-long trip?
During late 2020, we're in deep pandemic. Everyone is doing their own version of what am I going to do when this is over? What are my dreams? What do I want to do or see? And in the back of my head, I thought, well, traveling the world sounds amazing. And then I realized, oh wait, I could actually pull this off. I don't have kids or a partner or a mortgage or a pet, and my dad is in good health. And at CBC, you can take an unpaid year off if you want as well. And so I went, this sounds really cool. I'm going to spend 3 years planning to see if I can make it work. And somehow I did.
How many trains did you go on during your trip?
I went on 111 different train routes. Because it's a lovely way to see the world, it's a lovely place to see the geography. You also get guaranteed downtime then where you can't really do anything for 4 or 5 hours other than enjoy the scenery. So you're able to relax, and it was such a great way of traveling, and it's such a shame that we don't really have in Canada and the US really great train systems.
I was going to ask you how you rank the SkyTrain after going on this trip, but it's like, it's not really a train.
No, well, and you know, the SkyTrain is really solid for intercity, within a city, rapid transit, right? But then you go to a place like Japan or cities in Europe where there's trains whizzing around at 200, 300 kilometers an hour going from place to place and cutting down. Imagine if you could get to Kelowna in like 90 minutes time,
oh,
right?
That would be amazing.
And so it makes you realize when you travel everywhere the things that your city and province are really good at and the things where maybe there are deficiencies compared to the rest of the world.
Did your tastes change? I followed you on Instagram, and every day you posted some amazing food. I didn't know you were a foodie.
I wasn't, I enjoy good food. And when you live in Vancouver, I always go lean into the strengths of a place where you live. And Vancouver has such great, authentic cuisine from so many places in the world that I was excited and impassioned to go to, the core of these countries and actually see it on a broader scale. And so, one thing that was funny is going to places in India or Southeast Asia where spice is a giant thing. And they would look at me and say, so no spice? And I would go, I can deal with it. I live in Vancouver. It's part of it. But it was so fun to get to explore some of those things a little bit more, and just also the way that food is integrated into those cultures and into neighborhoods and into streets in ways that it just isn't in Vancouver.
Did you think about BC much while you were gone? And what did you learn about BC while you were gone?
Oh, I mean, you think about the place that you're from when other things remind you of it, right? So when I was in Bangkok, and their transit system is just like the SkyTrain, and I'm sitting in the front and looking out, that rings a bell. When I'm in London and there's a little concert playing in an industrial flat and Home for a Rest by Spirit of the West starts playing, obviously that makes your mind extremely excited. You see things along the way that spark those lovely moments. But at the same time, it was so fascinating because, I've spent a lot of time traveling around BC as you have, and I love and appreciate and know all of these different places. But now suddenly I was in places that were completely foreign to me, and I had no frame of reference. And so being able to feel like a stranger in a strange land for a year was a real blessing. And I'm just as excited to go back and go to places around this province that I know and love and have that feeling of familiarity again.
You're doing slideshows right now,
Yep.
and you wrote a ton while you were gone.
Yep.
Are you releasing a book with this stuff?
Yeah, so that's going to come out next year, we're going to, it's going to be about my year and also examining the ways that after being everywhere else, how Vancouver matches up to the rest of the world and BC matches up to the rest of the world. But otherwise, I'm excited to get back into the swing of talking about local politics and talking about cool things within British Columbia and working on that on the side.
Cool. I hate to do this because it was so long ago,
Yes.
but in 2020, you did a bracket where roadside attractions were put head to head, and Mr. PG narrowly lost to...
The goats on the roof in Coombs, Vancouver Island,
Yes.
near Port Alberni.
Goats on
and
the
it was
roof.
close, very close.
49.1% to 50.1%.
It was a squeaker, and the people in Prince George are still there's some controversy because they claim that I changed the closing time of the vote and that if they had been given a couple more hours to ramp up their campaign, they could have pulled it over. Because at the beginning of the day, the goats on the roof dominated the entire competition. We're winning by large numbers. Mr. PG was doing well, obviously, because it won, but it was winning by smaller amounts. You know, it defeated the giant Peach and Penticton in the quarterfinals by only like 58% or so. But over the course of the day, everyone in Prince George rallied for Mr. PG. The band Kiss rallied for Mr. PG.
Wow.
They put out a tweet saying, "We were in Prince George once and we loved Mr. PG. Vote for Mr. PG." But it just wasn't enough at the end of the day to get them over the line. But hey, in a province like BC, when you have so many amazing roadside attractions, being second out of 48 entries in there isn't half bad.
Thanks for joining me, Justin. We'll see you again.